Carolina General Assembly back in 2004, re-elected in 2006, 2008. She was elected governor of South Carolina. In 2010, she and her husband, Michael, an officer in the South Carolina National Guard, have 2 children, and I assume they live in South Carolina. Well, good, Don. Her new book is entitled, Can't is Not an Option, My American Story. Please welcome to the Imus Morning program, Governor Nikki Haley. Good morning, Governor Haley.
Good morning. It's great to be with you.
So I was wondering, I said, I see 2 people sitting over there. They usually don't come in the studio. I thought, what the hell did they think is going to happen? They're concerned about you. So how are you?
All is going well. It's a great day in South Carolina, and things are moving, and we're excited about it.
Why is it a great day in South Carolina?
You know, I say so much in the book about challenges that my family went through. I was born the daughter of Indian immigrants that reminded us every day how blessed we were to live in this country.
American Indian or?
Asian Indian.
Asian Indian, okay.
And, you know, they came to this country, and we went to a small town, 2,500 people. They had never seen Indian people before. We didn't know what to do with this small southern town. And this is the story of an Indian girl who grew up and conquered a lot of challenges and odds and became elected by the state of South Carolina, a 38-year-old Indian American female for governor.
It's a great story. So when you say a great day in South Carolina, you mean that's just a talking point for the book. It's not like there's some big event happening in South Carolina that we all weren't aware of.
There's so many great things in South Carolina.
Oh, I'm sure there are. There are many great things in New York, but you know, we wouldn't say it's a great day in New York unless something great was happening.
Unemployment's down for the 7th month in a row.
Well,
Charleston was just named the #1 vacation spot in the country, and we continue to bring jobs, so all is good.
So your book is your life story, right?
It is.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I was raised in Arizona, and so, but in the South, mostly they want women to work at Hooters, right?
Not anymore. I mean,
well, that's clear.
You know, it's really, I start with the story of just a pageant where all the children in Bamberg were in the little We Miss pageant, and my sister and I were entered into the pageant. And
like a beauty pageant?
A beauty
pageant.
Okay. And they came up to us, and there was a white queen and there was a black queen, and they came and told my parents that they were going to disqualify us because they didn't know which category to put us in. And my mom said, well, can you at least let her sing her song? And so I sang, "This land is your land, this land is my land." And they gave me a beach ball, and I was on my way. And if you look at the
Could you actually sing?
I could sing.
Oh.
I tried. But, you know, the thing is, it goes to show that while those things happened, that's the same town that allowed me to be in Girl Scouts. It's the same town that took my family in when my brother was deployed to Desert Storm. So while we went through challenges, that town changed with us, and the state of South Carolina has changed.
So you became governor. Oh, no, I haven't read your book, and I haven't done any research. And I'll tell you why. Because I live a very complicated life, and I don't lie to guests. So, and your job is to compel me to read it in the audience, because people do that, and they can.
Absolutely.
Okay, so, like, what do they tell you when you're going to appear on this program? So, have you ever heard of me? Or?
Absolutely.
Oh, you have?
No,
okay.
Everybody knows who Imus is.
Oh, okay.
No, everybody does. You know, look, this story, this is just not challenges of a beauty pageant. This talks about a family who came with $8 in their pocket because they wanted a better life for their kid. As life went on, the reason I wrote this book was when I became governor, everybody said after seeing what you went through, we would never run for office. And that was the total opposite of what I wanted people to take from this. This was, yes, we had a terrible campaign. Yes, it was tough. But look at the changes and look at how you can move the ball when you win. And so we talk about all of that. You know, this was the state that saw the implosion of Governor Sanford, right? In a month after I announced. This was the state that is known for blood sport politics. And this is the state that has, just like we recently saw last week, anonymous sources with unaccountable bloggers and trying to talk about how the mainstream media picked up stories that were false.
So, because I wasn't clear on the timeline. So you announced before Governor Sanford blew up, right?
I announced a month before, and the plan was that he was going to endorse. And so I came in as a legislator, you know.
Tell Mark to hold off on that, would you? Yeah.
You know, the story is I was fighting in the legislature, and in South Carolina, legislators didn't have to show their votes on the record. And so I fought to get legislators to have to actually show their votes on the record. And in the process, the Republican leadership stripped me of all my committee positions because I wouldn't put the bill away. And Governor Sanford said, I'll help you out, but we didn't know he was going to explode a month later.
We're talking with a good-humored and good-natured, apparently, Governor Nikki Haley. Her new book is entitled "Can't Is Not an Option," and even if you haven't read the book, which I haven't, if you just know her story, it's a remarkable American story. It really is. So,
Thank you.
So Governor Sanford, that was the deal, wasn't that the Appalachian Trail deal?
That was the whole thing.
And then they had to, that's so.
Yep.
So didn't they accuse you of having an affair or something too?
I mean, that's the thing about bloggers. They accused me last week and said I was going to be indicted for tax fraud, and we had to get we had to get the IRS to show a report that said she's not even being audited. There's nothing there. And so, what this says is I faced it in the campaign. I still face it now. A lot of what we have to do is tell the media, don't pick up these unaccountable bloggers that have anonymous sources. I mean, that story last week went national. For what? It was a waste of time.
Do the Tea Party people like you?
They do.
Well, okay.
The thing about the Tea Party, a lot of people, and I talk about my relationship with Mitt and Ann Romney in the book, as well as a lot of other people. But
you like Romney?
I endorsed Romney.
Yeah, I
endorsed
like
Romney
him
in South Carolina.
I told you I didn't do any research, didn't I?
And I, the reason why the Tea Party supported me a lot in the election, and Romney spoke, or the reason I thought he'd be the right person is I didn't want anybody that was attached to Washington. Nobody that's part of the chaos is Washington. He actually has been on the other side of government when it comes to business. He knows how government can get in the way, and he knows how to create jobs through the private sector. We need
were
that
you
right
on The
now.
View yesterday?
I was on.
Yeah,
The
I'm
View.
good friends with Barbara Walters. I love her to death.
Oh, she's great.
I love that girl to death.
She was great.
There's a girl that has some affairs on you now. I'm going to tell you that now. With married senators and all that, but I love her. Did they ask you about VP stuff or all that?
They did.
What'd you tell them?
I wouldn't accept. And that's because if you see the challenges we went through, the people of South Carolina took a chance on me. Yeah. And I need to finish the job I promised. And
why did they elect you? What was it that they liked about you? Policy, position, what?
Well, I mean, that's the amazing thing is you think of South Carolina and then you think of a 38-year-old Indian-American female governor, and I was running against three very well-established people. I was Nikki who, nobody knew who I was, and I had no money. But what we did have was a conservative message, a lot of passion, and grassroots. And we were able to, and through all the smears and all the campaign stuff that happened once they saw I was #1 in the polls, we still were able to defeat them. And I think that says a lot about the people of South Carolina. I think it says a lot about our country.
This may be a naive observation to make. Wouldn't be the first one I made. But considering how your parents immigrated here, and one would tend to think that you would embrace, you might be have a propensity to embrace a liberal philosophy, but you instead chose conservative. Why?
And it was the life experiences that I had. I started doing the books for my parents' business when I was 13. I learned the value of $1. I had to do payroll and taxes. I went through my first commercial audit at the age of 16. And so I learned how government could get in the way. I learned the value of $1. I went into the corporate world with a degree in accounting, and I saw how regulations actually affected your profit margin, affected your overhead, and how government could make so much more, hire more people, expand their businesses if we didn't have that. And so a lot of what I believe was really what I experienced growing up from my parents.
Not to be melodramatic, but is there a personal toll in all this or no?
I mean, especially when you look at the blogs and once you look at all of those things, it's like Reagan's cabinet director said, how do I ever get my reputation back?
Ray Donovan, yeah.
And so I think that the goal is that you want to move the ball. And it's like my parents always said, whatever you do, be great at it. Make sure that people remember you for it. You're doing that. And the challenges that I faced as a little girl, we all have challenges. They never stop. Sarah Palin told me when she came and she endorsed me, and I talk about our conversation, she said, once you get to the top and you win, she said, they're going to try and tear you down. And after you become governor, she said, it'll never stop. And she's so right.
Is it still vicious?
It's very vicious.
Really?
But the thing is, you have to stay focused. You can't get distracted by those
kids?
things. I do. They're 10 and 13.
Girl, boy?
My daughter's 13 and my son is 10.
What do they think?
They're regular kids. They don't think much. We don't watch local news, so they don't have to see all of that. We don't let them see
friends,
the paper.
Don't
they do, but I
think they go to public school, or
they do. They go to public school. Also know their mom's been through a lot, and they know that she's tough. And at the end of the day, Michael and I balance well. We make sure that we are having dinner with the kids 4 out of 7 nights a week.
This Michael person, who would that be?
Oh, it's my dear husband, a saint of a husband who I met when I was 17 and has gone through so much of my life with me. But he was the one that when all that campaigning mess went on, he took off from work and he said, put down the newspapers, stop watching TV, let's go do this. And he's an officer in the military, a good man that puts on a uniform every day, and I'm very proud of him.
Well, you're utterly charming, and it's a great American story.
Thank you.
And every young kid in this country, every young woman particularly ought to read it. So Nikki Haley, she's the governor of South Carolina. Her story is called Can't Is Not an Option, My American Story. Y'all buy it at Amazon or, or traditional places you buy books. I mean, God, if I got to lead you to the bookstore, that's not a problem. Anyway, Can't's Not an Option. Nikki Haley, it's 11 minutes till the hour. Thanks for that.